The Philippines is the second most dangerous country in the world for human rights and land defenders. Every 12 days, an activist who opposes big corporations accused of illegal labor practices and violent land grabbing is killed here. It's common for the assassins to be members of state-backed paramilitaries on the payroll of big corporations, and so they rarely face punishment. The dead are often written off by officials as communist collaborators. Meanwhile, big mining, logging and agribusiness corporations pressure the government to crack down on the NPA, whose regular attacks last year cost them over $250 million in damage in Mindanao alone. They say the NPA is the biggest obstacle to them expanding on the island, which a leaked US embassy cable identified has a potential of $1 trillion worth of untapped resources. Much of those resources are believed to be on the ancestral lands of indigenous groups like the Lumad, who are routinely evicted by paramilitaries so that big business can move in. A tiny Lumad community living near the NPA base, more than a day's walk from the nearest road into town, told us the horrors that they've lived through.
Dini dapita Agustan, siyempre mga kuang kuman. Ino? Yan ang manahan labi. Siyempre sulod ko, kinamanghuran ko. Maama, pinusin. Ano mang. Kan din manggod na, sikay ha, dintain ni paparente, nahiusa kayo organisasyon na kandin, yan man aktibo ha sige o panaw, monitoring, tag-monitor din ta mga kuan, na pigdumtang ko mga bandido, pigdumtan. Pero hadi dandaan ay kayo hinali ta, abtik man labidaan tag rekon-rekon. Di, sa pag, last on ha, pagsugo dahil doon, siyempre organisasyon, diya taya inatangan ta tindahan ta Kalabugaw.
Sa kuan la kasagara na sinatian nako ana anang pag-abuso sa mga militar, abahin sa mga tunggi ingon nato lag nga mga leader sa mga lumad organisasyon, kasagara gid na nga gapampatyon sa mga reaksyonaryong sa gobyerno ng sundalo, ng mga military kay pila naman tayo nga kuan gid yung mga leader gid sa mga matag organisasyon gapatyon gid siya sa mga kuan militar. Sige lang, kana lang daan si kuan si kadtong reader sa Kalumbay. Kadtong gipatay to siya. Si Dato Anglaw. Usa to siya nga nagbarog isip lumad reader, usa to siya nga nagbarog pero gipatay sa mga sundalo.
When the soldiers were coming to their community, they feel very terrifying. They are very terrified. Some of them evacuated because they are afraid. But for Samo, in our side, they are very happy when they are very excited. Oh, the comrades are here. Let's give them some chicken or whatever that he can give us.
As mayor of Mindanao's capital, Davao, for 30 years, Duterte won a reputation of defending the Lumad against paramilitaries. So they were horrified when he became president and gave a green light for the killings to not only continue, but Lumad children, he said, are also fair game.
Sabihin ko dyan sa mga Lumad ngayon, umalis kayo dyan. Bubumbahan ko yan. Isali ko yung mga struktura ninyo. I will use the armed forces, the Philippine Air Force. Talagang bubumbahan ko yung mga lahat ng ano ninyo. Because you're operating illegally and you are teaching the children to rebel against government.
Kabatan-unan, labi na diri sa kuan dapit, kabukiran. Wala gid gihapoy kanang kuan, libreng edukasyon. Labi na sa kanang mga lumad yun. Partikular kung sa ubang mga lugar, naaman to ay matukod ng mga eskwelahan, volunteer, ginakuan pagit sa gobyerno, ginasumpo. Ginasunog ang eskwelahan, ginasunog sa mga kuan, paramilitar. Wala gihapoy ka ng kaugmaon nga ilang maabot ug kung padayon man galing nga ing ana gyud dili lang pipila lang ka mga batan-on ang imong makita diri dili mas mudaghan pa gyud ni.
The recruits in this platoon are mainly Lumad, including its commander.
Tinanan mailing ko hadi makatarungan nun kay sa mga otaw manggod kabahin ko pagpanlutos din pagpanginalok din kanga haldok yun sa mga dumakuha mga lumad tana pinanghimo din hansa ninang din yun sa pagpamumba din ko mga lumad hadi gyud ay makatarunganon sa ninang din.
The Filipino government often claims NPA recruits are lured by dirty money the guerrilla are stacking from drug dealing or extorting businesses and farmers. The NPA calls this black propaganda.
Dinhi walay sweldo pagkatinuod lang. Walay sweldo. Walay bisan unsa, wala kay trophy nga makuha, wala kay medal nga makuha. Ang imuha lang makuha ang kadasig, ang kining paglaom o kaning ang katawhan mismo kanang ilahang musuporta sila sa imuha, no? Moral support, material support, financial support.
This platoon survives on a diet of mainly rice and dried salted fish. The guerrillas say every grain of rice represents the life of a farmer, and without the sacrifices of local peasants, they would starve. A nearby spring supplies their drinking water, and the heavy rains water for washing.
They call us extortion. Actually, that is a revolutionary taxation in our part. All of the businesses and the capitalists within our area of responsibility are obliged to give their tax. If they fail to give us the tax, no, that's why we give also a sanction, punishment sanction. First, we give them a warning notice. If they fail to give us the what we want, and then if they fail to answer us, then we mobilize the masses and put them into action to punishment, give the sanction, like burning down their equipments.
For the bigger multinational corporations that have a catastrophic impact on the environment and pursue aggressive expansion, the NPA says it has no interest in taxation. Those corporations it simply wants to destroy.
Not all the businesses here in area of responsibility we collect taxes, no? Especially those businesses will ruin, destruct the environment.
Liaison teach us that the multinationals like Del Monte is the one cause what happened in the 2011 the Typhoon Sindong. Because the plantation the land cannot be hold already, they are eroded to the Cagayan River. The stand of the revolutionary movement is no to expansion. That's our stand. So we do not impose their taxation. Only Del Monte and Dole Itotso.
You just burn it down.
Yeah.
In 2013, the NPA in this region carried out one of their biggest offensives to date against food giants Del Monte and Dole, a warning that they must stop expanding. This is NPA footage of the operation. Toto was one of its architects.
Ang gatong sa Del Monte, momento na pilan gid sa interior region, Monte pinauna nga pinakadako sa paglunsad diri sa North Central. Pero sa planning, uban sa planning, mga disenyo, kay kuan man to, ginamit ang 8 ka platons.
The attack left one security guard dead and caused thousands of dollars of damage. The NPA says these attacks are the only language big business will listen to stop their land grabbing.
Sa pagkakaroon, wala pa maginakuha nila ng mga dagko. Wala pa sila nangakuha nga ilang mailog ang yuta. Pero nagpakita na siya sa kanang nana sila kahadlok sa mga pag ilang kahadlukan po ba nga persa.
Earlier this year, Duterte began pushing for the Communist Party to be put on a list of terrorist groups and individuals, along with what the government calls its legal fronts, from student to women's groups, and seemingly anyone who challenges the government. Dubbed a virtual hit list by human rights groups, even the UN Special Rapporteur for Indigenous Rights was named, alongside 600 other people. Despite pushing for this crackdown, the government insists the NPA is a spent force that has dwindled from 25,000 guerrilla during the Marcos era to 5,000 today. But half a century since the NPA's founding, it still attracts new generations who believe in keeping the protracted People's War alive just as passionately as their predecessors.
So, adios siguro ko no, ako ang hulman ang giingon ni Chairman Mao Zedong na ingon niya, ang kalibutan ako ug inyo. Pero sa ulahing pakisusi, ato akini sa mga youth, sa mga kabatanunan ng kalibutan. So, kita di ay mga isip patanon, kita ang nagahatag o kini kahayag paglaom
murag sumisibol
sa katilingban. Ligon ta og mga tuhod, atong mga mata klaro pa. Then atong utok open pa, abli sa tanang kausaban, abli sa tanang kini mga ideya, no? So kita ang magpadayon sa revolusyon.
And in just one summer, thousands of communes were formed. They consisted of up to 2,000 families. There were even plans for enormous communes, combining up to 10 or 20,000 households, which would be headed by cadres who were totally dedicated to Mao. The working day started at dawn and finished after dark, accompanied by music to the glory of the Great Leap Forward. As the basic unit of the future society, the commune experimented with a completely new way of life. Here, everything was designed to immerse the individual in a collective life geared towards production. All private property was abolished. Houses, animals, land and production tools became collective property. Nurseries and free, compulsory schools liberated women from their maternal duties so they could work in the fields.
At that time, I was very young. I was a member of the Youth League and in charge of propaganda, so that shows that I believed in communism. I thought communism was fantastic. From when we were tiny, we were taught that the communist paradise would soon come, and we only had to endure a little suffering and make a few sacrifices to reach it. That was how I saw things.
The family unit disappeared, and children were made to live by the new rules of collective life. The individual was nothing more than a cog in a big machine.
I think the words were, socialism is good, something like that, but I can't really remember. Did you sing different songs when you were at home? We only sang in school. Outside, life was very hard. There was never any let-up. Why would we want to sing?
As in a barracks, men and women were separated and grouped in dormitories. Sexual relationships were regulated.
Men and women were separated and couldn't live a married life. Some couples went to the fields to continue their sex life, but when they were caught, they were publicly humiliated. Some women found it unbearable and many committed suicide.
Many Chinese gave up our religious beliefs because our leader, Mao Zedong, commanded it. Those who did not quickly put away their gods were re-educated. We were forced to learn new ways. Each week in small groups, we read and studied Mao's Little Red Book. We learned to place our trust in the state. We were told our allegiance should be to the state only. Our daily task was to follow our leaders, and they would provide all we needed. We honored Mao. We learned to worship Mao. Millions would call his name when he made an appearance in Tiananmen Square. No other was higher than Chairman Mao. When he died in 1976, we were shocked. He was not God. Gods do not die. But communism required our continued faith.
Am I the reason you get stoned every week now? Build up integrity, got you texting, emailing me, wanting me to feel with you. Baby, just face reality, move on. Sometimes it's hard to face reality.